Then dysfunctional family, like domestic violence, family where there's no love, then we have neglect, right? So what I need to say here is that for those of us that have children, there's this myth that people usually say that the kind of life. Okay, let me just write it the way I wrote it in my book. Change your myth. That's MYTH. Of I will not let my children go through the kind of life I went through. So the question I'm posing is that kind of life you went through, did it make you resilient? So one of my professors said something. He said, concerning children, every child should be exposed to minimal impact resilience that is mitigated. What does that mean? Like all those punishments our parents gave us, did they not shape us?
Yes.
They shaped us. So it is a myth to say that I won't let my children, but rather we should modify the version of what we went through. Because so many children now, they go for those that have children, and by God's grace, those that are expecting. What I'm trying to say is that many children, they speak also that will not join bad peers and all the rest. So we call it minimal impact resilience. Mitigated, that is like there should be discrepancy between punishing a child and so they need it, right? So that's one thing we need to know about. Then life setbacks are challenges that we face. Just suppose that part very well to affect you. Maybe you are working at island before, now you are living in Ikorodu and you used to live on island. How will I say, like the place where you are working is not far. So there has to be an adjustment. So if you don't adjust very well, it can lead to a lot, because when you are adjusting, you can have anxiety, you can be depressed, so if all those things are not well managed, you can develop any of the mental health challenge, right? So now, when we talk about reclaim, that's to take back what belongs to us. So quickly, please, when I have like 5 minutes more, let me know. I was told I have just 20 minutes. So I wanted to talk about sunshine, but I know that, since you came here, you guys will have been talking about sunshine, shadows, and all the rest. But I'll just read, I will not explain, so that I can go to, the main myth, which is overcoming this trauma. So when we talk about sun, we all know, okay, sunshine, the sun that is shining, right? So I'm liking, because the thing is from shadow to sunshine. So I'm likening us to the sun, right? So sun is a natural source of light, and it shines always. That is how God created sun. It shines always. Okay, so now why this topic? Overcoming childhood trauma, life challenges, and all. This topic is very important because so many people live in the past, and this keeps them in that shadow. We work with patients that there's a lady that's not just one. She doesn't want to get married because of the kind of home she came from, domestic dysfunctional family. So we are trying to do what we call cognitive behavioral therapy for her to change her mindset that family you came out from is not the ideal family. That is not how family is. It's just unfortunate that So we need to discuss this topic because so many people are living in the past, and this will keep them in that shadow. So now, my background scripture, Philippians 4:18, which will portrays what I've said before, that the way God created sun is for sun to just shine. It says, and I'm likening us to the sun. The part of the just, Philippians 4:18, is is always, right? So I love the way there's a particular version. The message, it says, the ways of the righteous people glow with light the longer they live. So quickly, like I said, I'll just read it. Sun never stops shining. So, but there are some things that can make sun not to shine, some natural phenomena. For example, sunsets, for those of us that do geography, that part of the earth that is facing the sun, we experience light, and that part that is not facing, we experience day, and that part that is faced away, we experience darkness. So that means that part, it will be dark, right? So for me, I likened it to our, maybe the morning, afternoon, and night of our time. People have divided, the life of an individual to morning time, afternoon, and night of our time. But understanding this particular is okay. We need to know that it's an everyday phenomenon. Like every day we have nights. It's an everyday phenomenon. So that means even during the night time of our life, I said some people have divided our life into maybe just explain things morning, afternoon, nights. So during the night time of our life, I said I'm likening us to sun. The investment and impacts, right, that we have made in the life of people is what we keep shining. When during the night time, they divided into younger age, middle age, when you become older, maybe 65 or upward, when you're no more strong. But the impact that we have made, the investment that we have made in the life of people is what we keep shining. So there is never a time that we will actually set, that the sun of our life will set. Right? We will keep on shining, and that is why at this period in our life, in many things that we all are doing, we must make sure that we invest in people and we make impact always. And then another thing that can make sun not to shine is maybe during rainy period. But on a lighter note, that sometimes that it rains and then there will be sun. They will not say that lion is giving birth. That's just on a lighter note. During raining period, So for me, I'm liking that raining period to period of sowing, like what we are doing now. We are networking, collaboration, we are training, right? We always have to pass through this stage. Then also during eclipse too, when the moon is in between the sun and the earth, that part of the earth, they're supposed to be in day, or because the moon is in between, is obstructing the rays of light coming from the sun. So that one, unlike the sunset and sunrise, the sunset and sunrise occurs every day, but this eclipse is once in a while. It is unusual. So I'm liking this one to major events like traumatic events. Maybe breakup, domestic violence, bullying, kidnapping, rape, natural disaster, right? So it will be likened to traumatic events, which if we really need, that we really need God's intervention for. Okay, so others include, that will make us not to shine, living in our past, running the race of life in the wrong direction, like you're putting in your best in what you're doing, but you're taking the right direction. Then self-centeredness, lack of knowledge or mentorship. So all these, actually what they will do is that they will lead to, but I don't want to go into that, disruption of chemicals in the brain. Like when we are going through trauma, there's some hormones, steroids. There's a way God created us that the levels they should be. But when we are traumatized, the body will just, try to want to suppress that stress. So those steroids will be high and some other things. Now to the meat of the matter, overcoming this trauma. So what do we do? When we go through traumatic experience, well, it's always a very difficult thing to do. A lot of people don't speak out. It's not always easy because of the shame, the stigma. But the only way anyone can support somebody that is traumatic is when the person speaks out. If you don't speak, I won't know what you are going through. Like, you just dress well, you are fine, but I won't know what you are going through. So, just like I normally say when I come, that I think somebody mentioned it when I came, that we should always ventilate. Somebody mentioned it, like, a lot of people don't want to pour out their heart because they'll be like, if I tell my friends, they'll blackmail me and all the rest. But we have professional psychotherapists, but it's just that Nigerians, we don't want to pay therapists that we can pour out to. But I normally tell people that no matter how bad, in this world, whether in church, at work, in your neighbor, you should be able to find at least one male or one female that you can confide in. Because there are some things that you can discuss with a male. Then, as a female, there's some things that are very sensitive that you cannot discuss with a male. So you shouldn't be that bad. You should be able to have one male or one female that we can share. We call it ventilation of emotion in psychology. So we need to learn to speak out. Let's have people that we can pour out our heart to. So that is supportive therapy. Then what we actually do for people, that have trauma, because when people are living in their past, definitely they cannot shine. They can't shine. I mean, she mentioned it. The woman in yellow. I think I came in when she was talking. You cannot shine when you are living in your past. So what we do is we do what we call trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. About maybe 6 to 9 sessions. We are going to pick some things, what cognitive, the summary, the way you can understand it. Like I said, it will be like 6 to 9 sessions with the clients. But what the main meat of that cognitive behavioral therapy is that we want to let that person know that the way you are thinking, your thoughts, maybe there are some thoughts the person is having. So we are trying to change that thought, because your thought is going to determine your feelings, the way you are feeling, and then your feeling will now determine the way you are behaving. So that is, we do cognitive restructuring. So, and it is based on, that's why I say trauma focused, different traumas. So we pick up the error, biases in your thinking in that particular trauma. Maybe you are thinking that maybe if I had lived with my parents, like a lot of guilt feelings like that. So it is the responsibility of the therapist to pick up all those things during conversation and then now use it during the healing process for the person. Then now, so that is for the therapist, the psychiatrist, the clinical psychologist, the counselor. But now, right now that we are here, I know, as in we talked about positive affirmations, and I think I don't know if you have done it in the timetable, that there will be a time that we're going to journal. Have we done that?
No.
Not yet.
No, we've done affirmation.
No, not affirmation, journaling. Okay, I saw something there that maybe you would read, you like few minutes to think about what has happened in the past. I think you guys will still do it. But for now, as we are seated, like I said, some of us are traumatized by different things. We know that thing. Anytime you think about that thing, it weighs you down. So the first thing you need to ask for, maybe someone has, caused us wound in our hearts. As we are seated right now, we need to first of all seek for God's mercy. Like as we are seated, saying it in your heart, because for you to even keep somebody in your, it's not easy. Like I said, it's not easy. Because if you remember the definition of trauma, I said something that is posing death to you. I mean, death is just the end of life. As in, if you are dead, you can't be talking about any clinic. Sorry, I said clinic. Any picnic. You can't be talking about picnic or something that causes severe injury or something that compromised, that brought down your self-esteem, something that compromised your integrity. So you first of all seek as we are seated. And then the next one is, I don't know, maybe what has caused the trauma. Maybe you are having guilt feelings. You need to forgive yourself. So be thinking, you can whisper it, like you mention your name, Folashade, I forgive you. Like maybe you are having guilt feelings concerning, whatever, the trauma is. And then, as we are seated, if we have anybody that has traumatized us, I want us to close our eyes. Imagine that scenario. I don't know what it is. Like I said, we are not supposed to, keep people, as children of God, we're not supposed to keep people in our hearts. If you even, when you're angry at people, it will prevent you from, moving forward, it will prevent you from shining, right? So, you can close your eyes, imagine that scenario. For a lot of people, for them to remember that traumatic experience is always hurting. And so you call the name of the person who has hurt you. And indeed, tell the person you are forgiving the person. That is what I want us to do. I want us to seek God's, right? I want us to seek for God's mercy. I want us to forgive ourselves. And I want us, whoever you think has hurt you, I want you to whisper to yourself and call the name of that person. If you can try to remember, play a flashback, like a re-experiencing of what happened, maybe a hurt from relationship, from your marriage, or from anything at all. Call the name of, or maybe like a physical abuse, as a child rape, call the name of that person. You can remember and tell that person that I am forgiving you. Okay, so if at the end of the day, as in you did all this, like just and you are still, if you are still hurt, eventually you may need to see a therapist. So like I said, we can do maybe trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy for such person, or what we call psychodynamic therapy. That psychodynamic therapy is just like we go into the childhood of that person and then pick up some things, some cognitive biases, and then be able to help the person. So I think I'm done. And then I have some products for those of us that have children. I made this product. I think I showed it to people that came the last time. To teach values. I've identified that corruption is, disturbing us so much in this country. So what I did in my books is that I'm trying to. We need to reinforce family values. So this one, maybe as we are going on tomorrow, I brought some copies. We have the value, a value, then the synonyms of the value, and then the puzzle containing the synonyms of the value. So for children that are younger, maybe 6, 7, we can do like a kind of, this week, and I made it 15. This week, our value for this week is gratitude. So let's do our dictation. So you call all the synonyms: grateful, gratitude, thankful. So you correct them when you do the spelling. What do they call it? Spelling dictation ahead. So then after that, you correct them. You now let them do the task. Then for those of us that are Christian, and I'm sure we have that in Quran. So if you look at the value, and you can think of the Bible character that show that value, you can use that to teach them that Bible character. So that is the value for the younger children. Then we have the value card for the older one. The value card, they can use it in form of like words. So one person can hold like 5 cards, another person can hold like 5 cards. So we have the value, the definition of the value, and a scenario. So you have a judge. So one person will read out the definition, and then the other person is meant to say what I wrote or the synonym. So you get 3 marks when you do that, and then there is not a critical question, because I don't just want them to know the value, but to apply it. So if your judge thinks that your response to the question is good enough, that's 2 marks. And then if it's fair, 1 mark. But it's not about winning or losing. Whether you win or you lose, it's just about learning value. So I brought some copy. This one is 4,000 naira, and this one is 1,500. So I think I will take questions.
What is picnic price for boats? Yeah, picnic promo price for boats.
This is the shadow price. Give us the sunshine.
Sunshine price.
Oh my God. Triples. Oh my God. That's on a tight country.
She's permuted.
Wholesale price should be different from. Okay, so what I will do is that. Okay, if you're picking the two, maybe pay 5,000 naira.
What is supposed to be
shadow to sunshine price? Okay. It's meant to be 6,500. This is 4,000 naira.
Oh, you tried.
This is 1,500. Yes.
So
it's
the
at
2,500.
Bible Wonderland.
So both is 5,000.
Roving Eyes. Yes.
Who is in charge of that? Is she around?
Ma, I didn't remove 500.
1,500.
4,015 is 5,500.
Okay, is that 5,500?
Yes, so give us 4,500.
Money.
No. This
This
price you're giving is sunshine never end.
Okay, 4.
4,000.
Oh!
So you not increasing the
It should be like my own
Contribution. Thank you.
Okay.
I want to. Yeah, you have.
But I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. I think I'll be the first person to do. I'm very sorry. Now I want to talk about a particular situation. I'm very sorry. No, I think, wait, when I land down,
Let us
I don't want to. If I say that, now, I want to talk about a friend of mine, myself and a friend of mine, were driving around this side towards Freedom Park. So unfortunately, the tire got flattened. As the tire got flattened, myself and him, we came down. So let us lose this tire.
I'll twist your neck.
He just said, what kind of water is this? What kind of problem is this? Something like that. I was just like, is it not just to change tire? He said, we should go and look for organizer. Okay, let us lose. He said, okay, no, he has not done it. So as we were trying doing it, he was panting, like sweating and doing all this. And after just like 10 minutes, he just sat down and he couldn't do anything again. I was the one that ended up removing the tire myself. I took the tire down to the organizer, brought it back. When I was fixing it, he was just looking at me. So one thing I want to ask is, do we, based on the topic you have given now, do we have to blame his parents for such, or is the one that is not? Because he was just too terrified that day. So I was now imagining, what if I wasn't there? I was asking, what if he said you will go and fight for organizer, and if you can, like, it was just. So I now imagine he's not yet married and he's entering his 40s. I was like, okay, what if your wife now? So that's one thing, the question I want to ask based on. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
No problem.
Okay, I think what happened, if you followed me, it was just like an acute stress reaction. Acute stress reaction are, the way we feel when, there is a stressor. So, and they occur within minutes or hours, maximum 48 hours. But once you take away the stressor, the person will be fine. It could be a multifactorial thing. A lot of people, they don't even, I talked about resilience. A lot of people don't have coping, they don't have coping skills. And that is what makes a lot of people to break down. I think the last time or the first time we discussed about coping skills, and I mentioned one of them today, ventilation of emotions, confrontation. There is a problem, what do we do? It's not the time, like that particular time now, the coping skill, there is confrontation. Like, what do we do? We need to get out of here. What do we do? It's not for you to start, do you get? That was acute stress reaction, and it could be a lot of factors. Like, the guy has poor coping skills and all the rest. And of course, you will need to learn how to cope. Because if you remember last year, we talked about, stress manager. We can never avoid stress. We can only manage stress. We can't avoid stress. That stress is what I'm talking about. Like, we need to let our children have some resilience that is mitigated. They have to face stress. We call it eustress, EUSTRES, so that okay, ma'am. To forgive.
Hello, ma'am. Come on. No, you go.
I think you should learn to forgive. It should know that your partner hurts you today, you have to forgive them and forgive him. Every time, every day, keep hurting you. So you continue to forgive that person.
70 times 7%. Okay.
Are you okay? Oh, sorry. You told the last time that you identify our trigger. Our trigger. And part of the people that trigger you, that is kind of the pain, the hurt that you go through every day. You continue to endure, forgive again, and the kind of trigger, forgive. 2 questions now.
That question is a very sensitive question, and some people already are responding, like 70 times 7. For the Christians, you need to call for forgiving the person. I know 490 times. But a lot of people, before they even agree with me that before they even get to that 490 times, they will have broken down. We attend to a lot of women that we attend to at our clinic that are having depressive disorders. Why should I or relationship issues? So, for someone that is continuously hurting you, what the therapist, what we usually tell therapists, because we are just concerned about your we want you to be sane. We want you to be mentally stable. And like I said before, I I believe in 70 times 7 times, but a lot of people even get up to 10 before they will break down. You see people depressed, then it's not become complicated, and then they want to commit suicide. You know, and that's what we are talking about here. So, what the therapist will ask you is that, what do you really want? Because there's this saying, I belong to a Bukaoshika's setting, to thyself be true. What do you really want? So whenever anything happens, I taught us this one 2 years ago, or last year, I can't remember. 4 A's management of stress. The question is, this situation, this relationship I'm in, this marriage, can I avoid it? So you are the one that can answer the question. I cannot avoid it. I don't want to become like maybe the Yorubas, so Wodile Mushu, something for the Yorubas. They're like, you don't want to go back there. It is disgracing for you to go back to your father's house. So you cannot avoid it. That's the number one. But you are being hurt. So if you can avoid it, then now a lot of people are advocating for, especially when there is domestic violence, because when the person will kill you, do you understand? So anything off bad goes. Me, I don't feel I'm a Christian, and I don't want to talk too much about divorce and not the rest, but maybe they need to separate. They need to separate temporarily. So the first A is avoid. I cannot avoid. They are living the same house. Alternative, I cannot find alternative. Like they'll send me back from my parents. I cannot make that decision. They know that. Thank you. And then the third one is then you have to ask. Accept the last A is now develop your own adaptive skills. Whether when he is talking, you will leave that place, like your mind, you will close your ears, your mental ears, to all what he's saying. Are you getting me? That is the only thing, because if you don't want to avoid, then you keep on hearing the thoughts. Then you have to accept that I'll keep on hearing, and that thing, they can be so damaging. Especially the partners that can talk and they will send you derogatory voice notes, and you yourself, because you really truly love that person, you will still be listening to that voice note. I mean, you want to keep someone that look at the voice notes that the person sent to you, keep on. So you have to accept that maybe you develop a kind of mindset, like a spiritual, mental ears to be there to what the person is saying, and then when the person, just like a boss that's always giving you stress, you don't have a large job yet, so bossy, the person just be talking, like making you look like a fool, like you don't know how to do what that person is saying, and do bad. Okay, the boss, you're saying that you remember, that is what I was talking. I talked about cognitive restructuring, because negative thoughts will come, right? So what we teach, there's something called neutralization. You will neutralize that thought, because the way you are thinking is determine your feeling. So you have to, I don't know how I would like, you have to intentionally, try to, yes. Neutralization is you be talking that I can't afford to all these things that he's saying. That's not me, that's not who I am. Like all these affirmations, you say those affirmative words, and you know that okay, the reason why this is like is just because I'm still here. You just take away that negative thoughts. You try to take it away. There's something called neutralization. When you talk about you are reassuring yourself with good words. Then there is something called distraction. Okay, you can distract your mind. Then there's also mindfulness. Are you getting this? Because psychology, you can't be in your mind, you can't be doing plenty things at the same time. So if you are mindful, I think that time if you are mindful, like you're doing deep exercise, like that negative thought is coming in. Either you neutralize, you distract your mind. Maybe at that moment when that negative thought is coming, just what are my short-term goals? What can I move that mid-term goals? What are the things I'm doing already? By the time you are thinking about all that, you don't remember that thoughts again, right? And then so because your thinking will determine your feeling, and your feeling will determine your behavior. If you're thinking negative thing all the time. You'll be feeling bad, you'll be feeling sad, sorrowful, and then your behavior, you'll be irritable. Any small thing, you'll be irritable. So sometimes a lot of people that we find that are irritable, it's not really them. It's because of what's going in their thoughts.
I'm sorry, ma. Yeah. Please, if you want to ask a question now, let us make it brief. And ma, for every question, let us have like 30 seconds or 1 minute to answer it. Thank you very much.
No mind.
So, let me identify now that it's a trauma I have. I'm a mom of 4, but growing up, I don't have a relationship.
See when she was
I don't have a relationship with my mom. Not like she was absent, and she was not a bad mom, but I lacked that. She was not mean to me per se, but I have no connection whatsoever with her. So growing up, sometimes I felt like maybe I was adopted. Yes, it was obvious. She's my real mom. It was obvious she loved and the ones she didn't love. And the funny thing is, we that she did not love were well behaved than the ones she loved. So you see us trying to live our life to get that validation and that love from her. I was very close to my dad, but he's late. Growing up, I would say, even when I give birth, my mom will not come to the house. I said it as a joke, but I meant it. No, that was the decision I made. That my dad will come for my mom. Because in Igbo land, it's your mom that comes to take care of you when you give birth. So I said my mom will not come. My dad will come. Growing up, even as a teenager, I could not go to my mom to get money for pad. It was that bad. I get it from my dad. Even when you get it from her, she forces you to return her money back to her from your dad. So do you understand that she did not do much? She did not do anything, but at the same time, I would say she took us to God. Maybe God guided us. But she as a person did the barest minimum. So now, I now find it difficult, especially relating to my daughters, because I don't have that bond. So I am close to my girls, but I feel it's forced because I really don't know how to be close to them, but at the same time, I don't want them to feel what I have felt. So you see me sometimes, I just be like, please, could you give me space? And luckily, I treat them in a way that I always tell them how I feel or the way things are. I tell them how I feel or the way things are. I'm not the type that will tell you, go and bring your shoe and I'll run away. I will tell you, you cannot go with me. And this is why, and I'm the army in my house. My husband is a good cop and the bad cop. So I'll tell you, this is why you will not go with me. And you have to understand. If you cry, then you will have a problem. Yes, that is how I am. So it makes them, they behave more maturely than their age, to my advantage. But I still, only me know I have that issue. To my children, they will tell you, even during Mother's Day, it was so beautiful, the notes and everything, but I know I'm struggling. I know I'm not giving my best because I don't have anything to look up to. So, what do we do? You need to forgive her. And like, you actually need like a conversation. Because you have to let go. If you don't, she's already, reflecting, even your relationship with your daughters. I don't hold grudge against her. Right now, I'm the daughter that gives her the best among my siblings. It's not like I have it all together.
But I still try my best to do the best I can. But now I'm getting the love, but I don't think it's love. Because I feel she's only reacting.
Those are the things that
Yes. So that is the truth.
You don't think.
It's not I don't think, I know it is not. Because when I had my third daughter, my younger sister was with me. She did something bad and that side of my mom came out again. She left me with a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-week-old child, and I was not feeling well, and she left my house. Because I corrected my younger sister.
Okay, so let me just come in here. That one, it needs to be addressed. But another thing I want us to take on now is that we are all adults and we are responsible for our actions. We have no, you cannot control. Normally, when you were growing up, she was meant to be responsible to you. But, so to speak, she did not do it well. So now you're an adult, we are responsible. We are responsible for our actions, we are responsible for our behavior. In fact, you are responsible for yourself first. That's what that mama was saying that time. For yourself first. So whatever, that is what we are talking about, the past, the shadow. Whatever has happened, has happened, but you have to find a way of coming out of that. That shit. So how do I do? That's what I'm saying. That I need some form of just tiny therapy, and I told us that for people that are really us, they may still need to do what we call psychodynamic therapy. Like it's not something that you go into the childhood, and then there's some things that you think that I feel my mommy, I feel my. So we now pick some of those we call cognitive errors, that's biases in our thinking. We will pick it, and then we now use it. We restructure it as, okay, you think maybe the other person is ill, so she's trying to show off different things. So it's when we go deeper, we'll not be able to pick all those biases, and then we'll not be able to use it. Oh, you're thinking like this, but your mommy, it may be like this. There are some ways, so you may actually need some form of psychodynamic therapy. It's not something that you can just.
Can I just say one thing to what you
Okay.
I understand your pain and I feel your pain. I was once in that shoe. I always tell people, there's anybody I should not forgive on this earth should be my mom. But I think sometimes conversation can help. At some point when I was getting married, after I got married, I called her. I said, you did this. You did this. There was a time I was staying with someone in Lagos here. She doesn't even know who the person is. So I was in trouble. The woman said she would kill me that night. And if I'm not careful, truly, she will. So I left and I called my mom. She does not know where I'm staying, no. She does not know how I landed in Lagos. I just called her. Please just come tomorrow. And just come and save me. She came. When the woman now, you know how these rich people do now? After the woman explained a whole lot, do you know the woman gave her money and she left me with that woman? Immediately that woman targeted the time that Mama to go to Ibadan. Like she would have entered bus going to Ibadan. The woman sent me out of her house with my baggages and all. You know, with tears in my eyes. I have her number. I hope why after that woman chased me out with sack, I went out and all I could remember telling her was the Bible says when my mother and my father forsake me, he will lift me up. I will come back strong. But at some point, it was a lot for me because I felt my mom loves my brother more. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying sometimes they do these things unintentional. So I sat her down. Conversation can help. Yes, conversation can help. After my wedding, I sat her down and she said one thing that broke me. She said, Fumi, because me, I left her for a good 5 years. She has no idea where I was. And I now said, did you even find me? Did you even know what I was going through? And that day I called you. Instead of me to say, come on. She now said, Fumi, if there's any child with tears in her eyes that I love more, is you. She now said one thing. She said, even with the fact that you are not around, before I pray for these ones that are here, your name comes first. After that, she now said something. She said, she knows in her mind I did not die.
Because before she prays for others, she prays for me first. To now cut the long story short, I had to ask her, why did you do this? Why did you do that? She said, because my dad loves me, I would have been a spoiled child. So she did not come through that way. I wouldn't be where I am today. She said, for me, you would have had children for like 5 men, and your father would still accommodate you in this house. So she needed to come out like, you and at some point I asked her, are you really my mother? Did you even search for me? Did you even care? So I don't know if you understand that some things they do it intentionally to make you be who you are today. Look at the Jacob and Esau story. The mother loves Jacob. Do you know Esau was later richer than Jacob?
Yes.
Go and read your Bible, see it. So sometimes those children that mothers love more, go and check histories. They fuck up. Now when we let things say they don't like us, we come back stronger. And sometimes when you ask them, and I'm trying not to make that mistake on my phone. I have it on my phone. I'm trying to drive you, but I love you too entitled. My brother is still struggling in his marriage today, so he's kind of difficult. So just have a conversation with her, please. Have a conversation with her, please.
You know, sometimes I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. But sometimes, what if now? Let me give you a scenario of my life. Let me give you a scenario with my life. Because of how I don't have a relationship with my mom, and because of how she treated me, I was in my 3rd year when I lost my dad. And when I had my first son on my 22nd birthday, before 26, I was a mother of 3. Sometimes we don't live to tell the everybody is as strong as we are. So we don't encourage bad behavior. You don't give and no. See, I'm a mom. I am a mom. I left home in July because I thought she hates me. Immediately my dad died, I left home. You don't hear. She don't know where I'm from. I agree where you're coming from. We don't give excuse for bad behavior.
Bessie, thank you very much. Please let me clap for Jessica and let me clap for our lady for me. Awesome ladies of colors. Awesome ladies of colors. We need to realize, we need to understand that truly we might have various opinions, but still yet we need to remember that we have a professional on ground. So don't let us leave the professional and now start side talks and side ideas. We are dividing the session. Message to me, lady for me, please. We are dividing. Leave everything to the professional. Whatever thing you now have, once your question has been answered, if you are not satisfied, you can go back to professional later. Thank you very much. Because we have others that have questions to ask. Thank you.
While you were talking, I was sharing with Elizabeth, can you bear me witness? I was saying that some of us are actually battling with transfer trauma unknowingly. There are some things that are absolutely wrong, but we keep making excuses because we just feel maybe that's the way it should be. Sometimes I came across something on social media. A guy said that, please, I want everybody to listen. A guy said that, and I really feel sorry for him because sometimes when I see people post things like that, before now, I will reply, I will insult them. But maybe because of my level of education about psychology and all that now, when I read things like that, I sit back and I ask myself, what is this person's orientation? What is this person's background like? What kind of family is he coming from? And truly, when you understand, there are some people you will not, instead of insulting them, you feel sorry for them because they don't know better. Now, let me tell you what this guy said. He said that when they were very young, his father was always
his father was angry. It went viral. I don't know if anybody another person saw it. He said that when they were young, whenever his father was angry, they would not give their mother money for months, and that the woman would take up responsibility and would feed their family. But that women of nowadays, if a man does not provide for a few times like that, and they will just leave the marriage, that they are not patient at all. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Now, is it right for a woman to just take up that? In fact, sorry, he said sometimes that even the father will even beat the woman that she's the one that will take their school fees, that this is a good woman. And that, yes, and that is a, thank you very much. Thank you, somebody is very there that she also saw it. Ordinarily, I would have responded and solved it. But the truth is, some people don't know better because it's what they've been through and their mother tolerated and they see it as a norm. So that kind of man, I see it as a norm. That is how women are supposed to behave. He's not a wicked person. It is a trauma. And that kind of man, trust me, when he gets married, he will do the same thing to his wife and expect his wife to tolerate it. The wife tolerated it, she didn't complain. The mother. No, he was just talking about other women of nowadays. When things like that happen, before you know they will leave the marriage, they will not tolerate it, they will start complaining that things harder. Because to him, a woman is not supposed to complain. Because his mother did not complain, she tolerated it and she raised them up. So what I'm trying to say is, sister, no matter how much you love our parents, we can't blame them too. Like I said, transfer trauma. In fact, there are generational traumas. That there are people that you cannot change their mentality about your kids. Those ones need maybe to take 2 years or 3 years therapy to heal them, or not therapy, the grace of God. Because it is a family orientation and it will keep going on like that. Your mother maltreating you to show you how much she loves you is absolutely wrong. No, it is absolutely wrong. And I was just sharing with Elizabeth, I think you've not even landed what I was saying, that is how traumas are just. Because before you know it, you may end up doing something like that to your children, and you will think it is right. It is wrong. It's wrong. Many of us, our parents have abused us, and we didn't even know. We have seen it as a normal way. And some of us are transferring it to our children right now. You will see some parents beating their children. They start to use blade. So you should not forget that they say, no. They tell them that this is not their parents right there. You can't blame them because they don't know any better, but we can break that trauma. And it is not right. The fact that you survived it, see, anything could have happened to you that night. It is not, see, prayer works, but see, anything could have happened. And that doesn't mean it is because God has answered your prayers or something. It is absolutely wrong. It is totally wrong. It is wrong. So, but we just need to thank God for gatherings like this. No. Forgiveness is very important. We're not saying that. But don't make excuses for them. You survived it. Don't make excuses. And if you have the opportunity, I will ask you to sit her down. No. And see, with tears, let her know that your heart was really broken. Don't man up like you are okay with it and you're forgiving her. See, these things affect us unconsciously and we don't even know. And you will think you are healed, but you haven't. Because some days we even react with it without even knowing, even to act. And so some of us are damaged without even knowing. We have been broken, like badly. I'm not even referring to you, and I know what I'm saying. I know what, I have a friend, I can't even start talking about her now. Like, this is somebody that is, let me say she's completely damaged, and sometimes when I even pray for her, I weep. Because I just pray, because I know that in her case, it is only God that can heal her. You know, when your parents maltreat you so badly that you see it as a normal way of life, and you say that it is because my daddy lost it, that is why he punishes me like that. What kind of father will strip a lady that is starting from a 19-year-old, will strip her naked, and beating around people? And still today, you cannot convince me that what her father did was wrong. She believes her father actually did that because that is, thank you very much. She is damaged. That is how best I can put it. And I cannot even talk, like, I can't, there are some people that are beyond, I don't know how best I'm going to put it. Like, you try to sit her down and explain to her that this is wrong and things like that. She has gone beyond that stage. So the only thing I can do for her relationship. Maybe I am not professional enough, so I don't know if somebody like Dr. that they can conduct a kind of therapy that can use that kind of person. So just there are some things that are absolutely they are not right. And unconsciously we start transferring the same trauma to our own children. Thank God for gathering like this. Forgiveness is important so that I can move on. If you don't forgive, you even be more damaged. So it's better you forgive, but don't make excuses.
Advice from her. She's saying it's going back. It's affecting her relationship. So I'm trying to let her know she can have conversation, and so that you can heal, and then you can grow a healthy girl child.
Of course. I will allow Dr. Felicia to answer that and just say the last thing so we can run this session. But we can continue this discussion with our let's have like women.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think Doctor will help us.
I've already thought now. I said she said something that's what she's
What is that's like a form of, so to speak, ventilation of the emotion. Then for therapy, it's acceptable. For this kind of person, you have to do psychodynamic therapy. We go deep into the childhood. Then all those cognitive errors that my mom did like this, my mom did like this, will now pick it and now try to say, she did like this, maybe it's like this, as in like restructuring. That is what the person needs to have therapy. And then I believe in this conversational, it's just like a form of ventilation of emotion.
It is actually, it's healing on its own.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. The mic. You want to say something?
Do we have anyone?
Yes.
Sorry, can
I want to about when somebody always
it's not on.
was talking just actually when
What's this?
Hello? Switch it off. Hello?
yes, so actually when the person
Where you're old. That's a bring down one back.
Hello?
Can you stand up? Hope you don't mind. I think it's about signal.
So, about when somebody is constantly hurting you, especially your partner, and we're saying for Jesus times 7. I just want to add something there. Now, it's one thing to forgive, but it's another thing to talk it out.
Yeah.
So if your partner offends you, and maybe you are hurt, and then you cry, and then it's okay, I forgive you, you move on. And there are other things involved. That person could be hurting you unknowingly. The person may not even know that this thing I'm doing is affecting you. And with time, this sentiment will grow. And you see the person, hatred comes in. And before you know, you were seeing the bad side of the person. And if the devil really wants to help you, you will bring somebody outside that will give you those qualities that you are looking for on the other person. And before you know, you are looking out. So it's very, very important to discuss. Growing up, I always knew that I did not want to have the kind of home my parents had. They had their issues. But when I was growing up, I had, this is what I want. And that is, so the things I did not get from my parents, I try to provide that with my children. So when it comes to spousal this thing, I've been married for almost 9 years now. By September will be 9 years. And I discovered that when you have issues, it's very dicey. If you're not careful, once hatred comes in, you will hate this person. But funny enough, once you settle, you'll be asking yourself, what was I thinking before? A little thing can cause big problems. And another thing is, what are you listening to? What are you seeing? If every time you open your social media, what you're seeing is one man and one woman that had issues that are separating, or you're always reading, the time I discovered that always reading the stories of people having problems in their marriage was beginning to affect me, I stopped it. Because normally you see clearly, but because of those things you've seen or you've read, your sight becomes clouded. Please, if you're having issues, sit down and talk it out. Thank you.
Depends on the person you are partnering with. Some people will not listen.
Good evening. So I want to talk. Okay. I want to come from
point of view. So funny enough, right? My mom is kind of, I won't say this, I will say was. I don't want to say this. My mom was kind of like her mom. And I'm hearing people say, sit down and talk to the person. Oh, you will sit down and you will cry. You wish you did not have that conversation.
God bless you.
I'm telling you how. I just understood. My mom is people too. My mom is people too. So I understood where she was coming from. So let me tell you how bad mine was. Mine was so bad that I'm walking around crying. Because I was thinking about what she did to me. It's something wrong with me. And I'm not talking about years. So I have to consciously, I don't have to start taking time to tell God to heal me because I was really damaged. I knew. So it was not I know how many conversations I had with her. In solution, I had plenty. And I left worse. So I told myself, since conversation, there's no need. I need to have this conversation with God. And whether she admits it or not, I forgive. I sent her money Mother's Day. In fact, to show you that God has really healed me. But I was still damaged. Oh, yes, I am. So, but I am not the way I was. But I know I am damaged. But I don't have resentment. The way I'm supposed to be close to her, I'm still not close to her like that. I'm being honest. In fact, when I see something, I don't know, try to differ. One thing I noticed, let me be honest, I noticed in all sincerity, that Yoruba mothers have a way of getting close to their children. I don't know how they do it. I'm from the East, that can tell you the truth. Yes. I know that Yoruba mothers are telling you the truth. I'm being honest. I don't know how they do it. But they have a way of being close to their children. Very close. But you see, let me not generalize. But in all honesty, as someone from the East, I don't know what the problem is. So, but however, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the conversations they don't really work. Yes. I know I'm not a small person, so I had the conversation when I was a teenager. Do you know what it is for them to tell me, oh, you don't talk to me about boys. Please, when we talk like this, I will never forget it. It did a lot to me. I was sick. My temperature, I was very sick. I told my parents to please give me money so I can buy drugs. Instead, they didn't have money. In front of me, they gave my brother money for something to do. Do you know who gave me money for drugs? A stranger that did not know me. The man, he had seen me, he had helped me for something. He asked me out, I don't think I said I'm that kind of girl. He said, no problem. So the man I was with, he touched me.
Sorry.
Girl, you know when your white blood cells are fought, and your body is now warm, like, I can't find it. He now gave me 5,000. And that was how I took drugs. Let me tell you, I opened the school. You don't know about it. I opened the school. My mother did not come to check the school out. Oh, you want to know? But you want to have details. So what I'm trying to say, sometimes it's not a conversation. Sometimes you just decide that I will forgive you, whether you change or not. Because I need to heal it for myself. Do you understand?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you have one opinion to another. Ladies and gentlemen, awesome ladies of colors.
Really?
Awesome ladies of colors.
Yay!
Okay, I would like to inform you that Doctor is about leaving, and I believe that we'll be so much interested in the cars and in the book. So please, she's about to leave. If you want to have it right now, please kindly transfer because she has to go and attend to her professional duties. So please let us quickly do that as she will be, so that she'll be able to go and attend to that. Okay, as we are holding on Mr. DJ, Okay, thank you. Mr. DJ, just give us something just to lighten up the atmosphere. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have to do, yes, Constable Perry will be having what we call the dancing competition.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we will do the presentation. It is my house. But before we do that, we still have a game to do. We have to sing our old school rhymes. It will be a kind of a challenge. So, part of the rhymes you can remember from the way back. Part of the rhymes you can remember from the way back. So I'll be passing it on. Any table that does not remember any song. Each table, you must sing at least 2 songs. Okay, so Mr. DJ.
Is it color by color?
Yes, color by color.
Everything is color by color.
Table by table.
Table by table. What is the theme? What is the theme? Color. Oh, so everything we are doing here is color.
Okay, orange will present now. Orange and which other thing?
It's only orange. Orange.
Green did not present. Red. Green did not present.
Brown. Did you present?
What do you mean?
The nice
guys.
Carry over.
It's just one presentation. Can
Carry over.
I thought you wanted to.
please don't fall for Emma for me enjoyment. Emma taking this time enjoyment bully.
I'm feeling sick.
Hello, phone.
You people are writing carry over, you are still wasting time.
Only me don't represent. Come on, let's go. Go, Dorcas.
Go orange. Let's go. Orange, we are waiting for you.
Oh yeah, let's play the song.
Your basket, please.
Orange. I beg, take this thing to the side. Don't let orange before orange before it too.
Next year, you will be surprised.
Change your thought. Orange before it. No,
Thanks for the help today. Thank you.
I'm funny.
Yeah, we're ready.
We are fast.
Oh no, man. Yeah, let's adjust it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us watch our presentation. Let's go.
Can we enjoy the presentation?
Your noise is more than them. Let us hear them.
We understand. Yes, we should stay in. So, we should stay in. Let us enjoy the presentation. Let's enjoy the presentation.
Let's enjoy the presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. We are the orange full of shade. Clap, clap, clap. We are the sunshine for a day. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. From the shadows we will look. Spreading out the rain. We are orange full of shade. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap.
Wọ́n ní so fine gan, ó fine, so fine gan, so ta lẹ́nu, so fa lẹ́nu, oh you're still live, I'm still live oh, yeah, oh my God, yes oh, till tomorrow. The noise is so much. I'm so sorry guys, the noise is much. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Up yellow. Up yellow. See, I see like up blue. Up blue. Up orange. Oh my God. Man. Oh wow. Up green, get there, come on. Oche, oh yeah, give us now, give us. Vitamin C. Oh my God. Oche, Oche. Green, my God. Growth. Okay, okay. Do you want me to go on? Oh, yeah, don't get vitamin C. Yeah. No. That one where they wound though. Up yellow. Up yellow. Up yellow. Up green. Up yellow. You know snap. You must get orange paracetamol. Up orange. Ẹjọ́ wá yà mí gbé. What are we doing now?
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Okay, so that moment we've been waiting for is finally here. It is the highlights of the picnic, or should I say one of the highlights? We seem to have so many highlights. So we have two beautiful women in our midst, confident, bold, strong, and amazing women. And they are here with us to share their stories with us. So, and Justina, can I put her Instagram for Justina?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Lady Justina. I need to tell you about it. I mean, a few things about Justina.
Okay.
I am not bragging, but Justina is one of those people you seldom meet. How am I supposed to put it? Like important person. She's very important. When you are big, you are big. She's a seasoned photographer. She's an author. She has a platform. She has books written. She has a platform. I think Tina Inspire, something like that. Please, can you say a few things about the platform? And I'm not even exaggerating. And I deeply feel honored to have her to be a moderator tonight. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, put our hands together, awesome ladies of colors. Awesome ladies of colors.
So I want her to say a few things about herself, and I'll personally introduce one of the first panelists, and she'll introduce the second person. Thank you. My name is Justina America Godwin. I'm a photographer, an events and development photographer.
She's a celebrity photographer.
So I just everybody. Everybody's in my
That's why you
camera.
did not shoot us.
Sorry.
We are not
We get here.
So I work for individuals and brands that are out there. And then I am an author. I've authored 3 books. And the fourth one will be launched on 3rd of May. And that is a gratitude journal. And I was surprised when one of our panelists was talking about gratitude journal. I'm like, okay, the spirit is one. Then I'm the founder of Gist Twitina. Gist Twitina is a platform where young adults come to share their challenges and burdens, and I host events, and all my events to be Tech Plus Conference. A whole lot. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
Okay. So I'm honored to be the moderator for this panel session tonight. And I'll be reading the profile of one of the amazing and superb woman or lady who will be having here. So Akintade Oluwafumilayo's story is one of courage and resilience. After surviving sexual assault and mental abuse, she emerged stronger, transforming her darkness into light. Her journey inspires hope and healing. Akintade Oluwafumilayo's powerful story showcases her strength in overcoming sexual assault and mental abuse. Her journey from darkness to light is a testament to her resilience and determination to heal and thrive. I love the silence of feeling in your house. So ladies and gentlemen, or ladies in the house, please, let's make welcome our delectable Akintade Oluwafumilayo.
Excuse you, Nigerian Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel so honored. Flower is flower.
Thank you so much.
Nothing. They just read that profile. We decided to like it.
Okay, so thank you. We've had a little bit, we've experienced a little bit, So that's the finger tip, right? So we're about to see the hands, and then we'll now see the arm, then the shoulder. You get to the point of Okay, so can you tell us a bit about your life, about the incident, who you were? Just tell us a bit about yourself first, before we know if there was an incident or not.
So for me, I used to be Fumi Akunda, so I just don't know to use any of the name, either Akunda or Akintade. I'll just go by the name Oluwafumilayo. That's my name. So I was a very vibrant lady, an active one, a talkative, a very intelligent girl, and an exceptional child, I must say, that I was the head girl in year 5, so it means I was good at some point before the incident. So yeah. Okay, he didn't have any sexual or rape before. Okay, he didn't have any sexual or rape before with me, but you know when he brings out his manhood and is telling you to do this, do that. So that didn't even have anything much on me, but it affected at the long run. Then another case was my friend's father at the age of 14 going to 15, or let me just say 15. Specifically, it was a few days to my 15th birthday by my friend's father, a rape. Because he was holding onto a knife and he said he was going to kill me in that room and nobody would know. So I'd rather like either I comply or he just kill me. And I remember saying a word that if someone is doing this to Lovina, your daughter, how would you feel? I remember the statement he said was, he doesn't care. So, and when the daughter even heard it, her daughter was like, one of the reasons why she had to lose her virginity by herself and give it to a friend she likes was because she didn't want her dad to have his way on her. So the lady said she doesn't even know her mom. Her mom was raped just the way I was raped. And I think after having her, she came to drop her to the man. So Lovina too was going through a lot, so I could understand what was happening. So it wasn't, I told her, Lovina, it's not your fault, I understand. So, and another thing that happened to me at the long run between the age from 17 to 18 was someone asked me a funny question. She was playing, but sometimes maybe we should be careful with our questions with people that have gone through some trauma. She said, I said I was raped by a pastor. That was another experience, raped by a pastor, a church in Shangisha. He's late, I forgave him before he died, but a whole lot went down. Not even once. If it was once, maybe I would have said it was not intentional. Like he always claimed, it's the devil's work. But it was 3 times. So it wasn't a mistake. It was something he was intentional about. And one question that was asked, that even I asked a doctor before I became an advocate for child abuse and molestation was, she said, can't you hold his blood course or can't you? At some point, one thing is when that thing happens, everything shuts down. Because you are in that thing like, because most time it happens from people that are close to us. And one of the things that I've said before I got married to my husband, no male family member in the house. Even the men are being abused, the boys. I met a doctor that was Tolu. Yes, a boy. So talk about me. My father's worker at a younger age, my friend's father at age 14, 15, then my pastor at between 16 to let's say 18. So I wasn't really young, but when that happened, that's the question was, what happened, why don't you talk? But eventually I was the one that saved myself, because that's trying to become. So briefly, those were things that really happened. A whole lot then, a lot from people I stayed with, like the case I gave an example saying, my mom had to come and then I was being chased out of the house. I was left wandering on the street. I've slept outside before where I saw 3 dogs came around 12 and they left around 5. The 3 dogs were with me all through the night. Even when I thought I couldn't sleep, I slept like a baby. I cried and I slept up. Outside, it was going to rain that day. So a woman that owns the shop kept some bath outside. So when I couldn't get an access into where I was supposed to sleep that night, I had to go to the back of that bath to lie down. And some guys came. if they had knew I was there, trust me, I would have been raped again. And my biggest fear, like, I'm always locking the door in my house. Like, I'm always the one checking the door. And that phobia is still there. That's why I say, even holy is possible, but it's not easy. It is still. So, a whole also the trauma, being on the street, being chased by a mad person was another thing entirely too. So, a whole lot happened. So, those are like briefly of what I've been through.
Okay, let me snap us out of it a little bit. What is your passion? What are you passionate about? What are your dreams? The dreams you had then, are they still the same that you have now?
Okay. Some of my dreams were cut off. Yeah. I actually wanted to be married a virgin, but unfortunately, I wasn't married a virgin. I was even married when I was like almost the men have had their ways. But thank God for the man I married. And the day he proposed to me, I said, oh, how wait, let me tell you. I actually met him while I was going through pastor's abuse, rape and everything. But I couldn't share with him. So I was trying to drive him away so he proposed to me. I said, oh, wait, let me tell you my story. And even for my ex, before I got married, I got pregnant and he said he wasn't ready. Eventually, I lost the boy child, like a 4-month pregnancy. So even sometimes we get abused by people that we love. So, that one too was another trauma. Like, that was my first baby, was a boy, and I wanted that baby. So I told him everything, like, okay, I've been raped by my friend's father, I've been raped by so pastor. I mentioned his name, like, I used to see you that time, and you never talk about it. I can't talk about it because the people I even talked to at that time, in fact, there was a guy I even spoke with because he was close to the pastor. He was also having his way on me. Some people come with pity. And you think they actually care, but it's not true. They're still having their way. That's truth. Yes, I remember. So it was a lot. So some of the dream was cut off, like being married as a virgin. Then I couldn't eventually go for NYSC because it affected me academically. There's one thing I've always been for is to wear that NYSC clothes. But along the line, there was no education. My education was cut off. It was affected. Like big time. Because after I got married, I went back for my degree after discussing my husband. So I was determined. I got back some of the things, but not everything. So some were really cut off. A lot was cut off, I can say. A lot.
So please let's put our hands together for her husband. In absence, please let's put our hands together for her husband. Thank you. Yes. So thank God for good men that still exist, who understand. Okay, so how did this experience, all of this experience, how did it impact your self-identity and your self-worth? Did you lose yourself at any time? Of course, I know that I've lost myself at some time, but how did you pick yourself back up?
Okay. One of the things that I could say that actually maybe, let's say, make me happy or something, a little bit about my mother, because I always say I shouldn't forgive her. After I was raped in Benin, I grew up in Benin. After I was raped, when I came down to Ibadan, I shut down totally. I know, that's when I said, sometimes we should talk with them. When I came back, I don't even talk anymore. The stressful thing they used to see in the house was not right there. I did what she observed. She now came one day and said, me and you, we are going out. I said, like, when is that? When did we even start going out like that? Do you get? So, but she just wanted me and her to be excused from my older sibling. So she took me a little bit far from the street and said, Fumi, what has happened? So at that time, I broke down. The incident of my friend's father's rape, I wrote it down in a journal. So I told her when I came home, this is what happened, this is that. And at that point, I could feel that motherly love for once in my life.
a problem or a trouble, a challenge, until somebody somewhere, you hear someone telling you a story, you're like, that's true. Is this not inviting this particular aspect of me? So some of the stories she's sharing, some of us stay here, we might not experience exactly the same thing, but it will be a pointer to a particular pain that we now bring our healing that we have been secretly, or we don't even know that it's actually really the healing we have to open our senses of. So please, let's put an instead of ourselves again. Okay, so I will try to rush it here. Was there a turning point in your healing journey when you felt the shift from surviving to thriving? And what triggered that point? On same note, I'm going to ask you